Welcome to CTV News, your Canada. It is Wednesday, March the 12th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
A Selkirk resident is sharing a new leaf in the sky thanks to the kindness of two ice cutters.
It was the most wonderful act of kindness that I've ever experienced.
Doreen Lansky looks up at her new Canadian flag, a tradition her family raises up every Canada Day. But over the season, the 40-year-old flag's rope tangled up and her flag tattered in the wind. On Saturday morning, two workers saw the flag falling apart and offered to replace it because they used it to navigate.
We use your flag every year as a marker, and we come bearing gifts. At that point, they pulled the flag out, and I was just totally blown away.
Lansky says she was touched, especially because her husband did the job every year, and he just passed away this December. She gave kudos to the men on social media, and they were shocked to see hundreds of people reacting.
She had quite a moment, actually, let's call it that, and to the point where we're both looking at each other and saying, we each had lumps in our throats.
I just think that with all the uncertainty that is going on in the world today, we definitely need more people like this.
Ben and I have been in contact back and forth, and hitting over 1,000. It's that's great. I mean, I got goosebumps as I speak here.
For all three, the simple act inspired Canadian pride. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's a piece of art that takes you back to a different point in history, and it was found in a place that's better known for air travel, not time travel.
We know it's the Fortress of Louisbourg, but that is all we know about it.
The painting didn't just fall out of the clear blue sky. Apparently, it was on the wall here at the McCurdy-Sydney Airport a long time ago, but in recent decades, the piece was tucked away in a storage room and forgotten about. Adding further intrigue is that from what anyone can tell, it has no signature.
So we know that it hung in the terminal somewhere, but we have no idea where. We know nothing about it. It's beautiful. Somebody spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on this. We would love to find out who it was.
And maybe you know or of someone who may have painted it, so calling out everybody.
The search for the identity of the anonymous artist has taken to the radio airwaves and to sleuths on social media.
Nothing really as of yet, but I keep looking every day, and I pinned it to the top of our page to find out who actually did this painting.
A look at the reconstructed Fortress of Louisbourg as it appears today leaves little doubt about what's being depicted in the painting. The hope is that some history buffs might be unearthed, much the way this piece of art was, to fill in the details that have been lost to time.
People who love aviation have such a long memory, so we're working on some stuff.
It is a mystery. Hopefully we'll find out where it came from and who did it.
A mystery that for now remains, well, up in the air. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
She says she doesn't have an artistic bone in her body, but Ann Copeland enjoys learning as much as she can about different art forms.
You bet. It really is, and it's good for all of us, and it's good for this. We thoroughly enjoy it.
Copeland and the others here are taking part in their second class hosted by Christina Ryan. Ryan's built a career as a photographer, but is passionate about cyanotype.
So really you're doing a photogram. You're putting the two chemicals mixed on the paper. You're placing an object on there to create shade.
Ryan says in the next step, the pieces are placed under UV lights, and after about 10 minutes, the exposed parts turn blue and the shaded parts stay white. Ryan says the seniors were new to the craft in her first class with them.
They'd never heard of it before. So I think taking them through the process was really eye-opening. But then being able to see the work in front of them as it was being produced was just astounding.
Tony Spina says he's no artist, but can learn.
Oh yes, there's lots of stuff that she's teaching us and we're trying to learn. But I'm joking all the time, so I don't know if I catch it. And they keep telling me, no, this is how you do it. I say, okay, I try again.
The Adult Day program here is made possible by the Creative Aging Calgary Society.
Not every organization has money to hire artists and recreational therapists and things like that. And so we started fundraising and we got some grant funding, and we were able to basically employ artists to go to different senior residences once a month and teach them a new skill. It's really cool.
With the photogram revealed, the next step is to rinse the pieces in water and let them dry.
Okay. I really like it. I'm pleased with it.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
School may be out for March break, but the chance to learn a little while having a lot of fun is everywhere at the Royal Ontario Museum.
Well, it's March break, and we knew he likes dinosaurs, so we had to come see the dinosaur exhibit, so that's why we're here.
The museum has taken a real hands-on and interactive approach to programming this week.
So we really ramped up the activities this week. There are all kinds of things that kids can do, using stamps, looking at 3D printing, learning about butterflies, whatever it might be, whatever they're interested in.
And whether you're a fan of designing butterfly wings or if assembling dinosaur bones is more your speed, there are endless possibilities to get creative.
Building the dinosaurs. I like the Brachiosaurus.
We're looking for the fossils so that he could dig, but he loves the hands-on.
And a variety of exhibitions that take a walk on the wild side or to the moon and back.
We love seeing the museum busy and all the life that all these families bring into the space, because it's not a museum unless we have people in here animating the space, looking, pointing, saying aha.
And for some, it's less about the destination and more about the journey that makes March break so memorable.
Because me and my dad took the subway train here.
From hands-on crafts to award-winning photographs, there's something for everybody here at the Royal Ontario Museum. Their March break programming runs all the way through to Sunday. Jessica Smith, CTV News, Toronto.
On a sunny day in Windsor, the streets are packed with people, but many still remember the eerie emptiness 5 years ago when the COVID-19 pandemic was declared.
It seemed like a very barren town at the time.
An unprecedented event that brought lockdowns, economic hardship, and claimed hundreds of lives in Windsor-Essex, tens of thousands across the country. And while Ontario's COVID-19 restrictions ended 3 years ago, for many, some habits formed during that time have stuck.
Try to stay away from crowds, crowded restaurants, and that's mainly because my dad's in long-term care, so we have to be careful what we do.
I started carrying sanitizer with me more often.
Do you find yourself using it often, like if you're around someone who's sick?
I try to offer it to them.
We do wash our hands more, especially with the children in that. When we're sick, we learn to cough into our elbows, which we never did before. Masking when we go on long trips, sometimes we do that as well on the planes.
Working from home became the norm, food delivery apps soared in popularity, and mental health became a larger part of the public conversation. Officials with Windsor Regional Hospital say that's something they factored into their post-pandemic protocols.
We have put in different opportunities for our staff to increase their community engagement, increase their wellness. We do monthly events for our staff here, really trying to keep people engaged.
One change that has lingered from pandemic times for some, vaccine hesitancy. The pandemic sowed doubt about vaccine effectiveness, leading to protests and a drop-off in routine immunization since. Doctors say that's a key reason why measles has seen a resurgence in recent months.
We have to have public trust in public health, and it takes a lot of effort to keep our rates of vaccine preventable illnesses low in Canada, and we have to maintain those efforts.
We've seen a doubling in the number of parents who say they're not sure.
A recent Angus Reid poll shows while just 4% of parents were against vaccinating their children in 2019, that's jumped up to 17%. Health officials warn if these trends continue, diseases once considered rare could become far more common.
Tundra swans frolic and tussle on a pond in the Elmer Wildlife Management Area. Not far away, humans do the same atop a platform built to give them the best picture.
As a photographer, I love to come out and get some flight shot.
Helen Pattison seeks out the tundra swans each year.
It's just standing here sometimes and just listening to the sound of them. When they come in, they just sound so majestic.
The swans use this area as a stopover during migration to the high Arctic. Their arrival is a standing vacation week for these two men from the GTA, proving the birds generate economic activity through tourism and hotel stays.
I spent a few times here to see them flying, and especially the way they come down to the water on top of the ice, right? It's fantastic.
While by now it is obvious why people come, the swans gather here due to the water and an ample supply of corn. As many as 3,000 are spotted here at this time of year. Many are spotted by the naked eye. These women come each year to gaze and listen.
Oh, I guess just what they do, and you know, they leave here when winter starts, start of spring and all of that.
Ken Lee of Ingersoll celebrated his 80th birthday watching the swans. He's been coming to see his friends for years.
They're quite the characters if you watch them close enough.
With additional sightings along Greenway Road in Lambton County, more human faces are expected to be looking up through the lenses before the swans continue their migration. Until then, there is still time to respond to their call.
I love the sound they make, eh?
Near Elmer, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
To keep his mind and body focused, Jean Kraszewski practices the Japanese martial art Iaido.
You're focused on the sword. Your mind is empty of all other thoughts. Everything is focused on every move you're making, on the cutting, on the sound of the sword. And for me, it just symbolizes my battle against cancer.
Equal parts meditation and exercise. It's given him the strength to face the disease head on for the past 9 years. But now, with his prostate cancer in stage 4, what he really needs is access to a potentially life-saving treatment called Pluvicto.
It's hope.
The drug is a precision medicine that targets cancer cells without damaging other tissues, making it easier to tolerate for patients with advanced disease.
This is a game changer for a good proportion of patients.
Dr. Fred Saad says trials have shown remarkable results.
One of the first patients we treated in the clinical trial is 4 years without any evidence of disease, and he had received 6 different lines of therapy before. So he was basically in the palliative care unit and was resuscitated. So it's an unbelievable story.
He says about 10% of patients can expect that kind of response, and over 50% will see some benefit from the medication. Pluvicto was approved for use in Canada in 2022 and is covered in Ontario, Alberta, and Nova Scotia. But in Quebec, it's still not covered by RAMQ.
What's the reason for the holdup? What is going on? I'm urging Minister Dubé to sign this and get this passed through.
CTV News did not receive a response from either the health minister or the health ministry before our deadline. Kraszewski has started a petition that now has over 10,000 signatures to put pressure on the government. He says with every passing week, he and thousands of others without access to the treatment lose precious time.
I'm fighting for myself, but also for all the men in Quebec and Canada where the drug is not yet available and that need it. You know, lives are being lost and families are being broken. Shouldn't happen.
Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Well, I wanted to welcome you, Jackie, to the Family Fun Zone here at the Canadian Museum of History. And we're just across from the Canadian Children's Museum, so lots of families are enjoying this space last week and this week.
I'm loving all this glow-in-the-dark activities. Talk to me about what we have here.
We have thousands of white mega blocks that families have been enjoying creating and designing and building under these UV lights and these neon rugs.
What's the reaction been, and what's the connection to bringing it out here for March break?
We wanted to create a very special space for families to enjoy during March break, for families to relax, enjoy, hang out on the bean bags, create, discover, explore together as families.
It's a nice break when not only do you have a chance to look through the museum, but also a space, like you said, the bean bags to relax, and even to have some downtime for the kids to play. But what's really great is there are other programmings throughout. Talk to me about the Good Stamp and Good Time.
Yes, in the Children's Museum studio, there is Stamping Good Time, and it's a printmaker's favorite thing to do. Children can enjoy stamping and then creating paper airplanes or letters to family from their stamping artwork.
Love to hear that. And again, the museum is open until 5 every day, but Thursdays open much later, so you can come and access this. Again, it's a beautiful week that we're expecting, but why not check out and explore the Gatineau side here for the March break. Patricia.
Community radio station CKUA received a $1 million donation today to keep it on the air. Local lawyer Brian Baresh is behind the gift. CKUA officials call it transformational. Nearly a year ago, the radio station put out a call for help, saying it was at risk of closing. It raised $1.8 million during that spring fundraiser and $3 million by the end of 2024. Baresh says he started listening to CKUA when he first moved here 40 years ago.
It has become part of our community, and we've become part of its community. Its diversity in terms of the music played, in terms of the discussions that take place, the ideas that are promoted, and I think that's a healthy thing for a democracy.
The CEO of CKUA Radio says this latest boost gives them breathing room to look ahead and make future plans. The station has been operating for 97 years, located in the historic Alberta Hotel downtown.
Trading shin pads for shorts and shoes for skates, the Kitchener Rangers taking over King Street, playing a 3-on-3 road hockey tournament for fans.
I love it here. I've been here for 5 years now. It's the best place to play junior hockey. Every night, every Friday, they pack the barn, and it's unreal to play there.
I am feeling ecstatic as the Kitchener Rangers PA announcer and city councilor to bring these two great entities together. It's awesome.
The original plan was to have a community skate followed by the Rangers playing on the ice here at Carl's Air Square, but it was just a little bit too warm for that, and they had to pivot to a road hockey game. It's the first ever downtown showdown at Carl's Air Square. Schneider saying they'd love to do it again.
We're going to think about better timing. Maybe there's something we can do during the Christmas break.
Fans of all ages donned their best Rangers gear and flocked to downtown for some of the March break fun.
Very cool to be here. I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. It's been amazing, and I got a mini stick.
All kinds of hockey-themed activities for kids, and of course, Rangers mascot Tex on hand to meet fans.
Show him his first little bit of hockey, and just have a great time in the sunshine in a great city with a great community.
The Rangers also signed autographs at the event.
Well, I'm trying to get number 5's autograph. There are a few players that I want to autograph this jersey that weren't on the team as a fan fest as of then. So I want the jersey to be signed by the entire team this year, just in case they win the OHL championship.
And with the team already clinching a playoff spot and currently enjoying a 7-game winning streak, fans expect a deep run in the postseason.
The Rangers are going to win, there's no doubt about it.
You think they're going to win it all?
Obviously. Go Rangers, go.
Colton Ween, CTV News, Kitchener.
This is Big Picture today. The province is hoping to launch a pilot project with rural municipalities and volunteer fighter departments to use abandoned buildings for fighting training exercises.
It takes a lot of the expense out of the municipalities if they do become take ownership of some of these abandoned properties that we've acquired through tax arrears.
These derelict buildings are a priority for SARM as they not only become an eyesore, but also a safety hazard and financial burden as the RMs assume control of the property, then have to transport them or find a way to destroy them. But the province wasn't able to say how much the program will cost, when it will roll out, or what it will entail, when firefighters didn't know about it either.
We are caught off guard a little bit because we didn't know it was coming. Next time they'll let me know, I'm sure.
Regardless of how the program looks, Turpin says it will make a difference.
It's a great thing because we can tell you today that volunteer firefighters in Saskatchewan, their first fire is a live fire. And that's the wrong way to go about it.
Turpin sees training as more than just firefighters going around to abandoned buildings, starting them on fire and putting them out for experience. He wants to see some buildings be used as training centers for evacuation and rescue before they're burned down.
You know, we can bring hot dogs and watch it burn, but anybody can do that.
The province expects project details to be available sometime this summer. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
25 students from the northern village of Pine House are in Regina learning all about Saskatchewan's energy economy. The Indigenous high school students traveled south by bus yesterday. Today, they're touring the Petroleum Technology Research Center. They learned about the various minerals which are mined in the province, including uranium, which is mined near Pine House. The students will be in the Queen City for 3 days, learning about different kinds of energy technologies and career opportunities.
I got invited from my teacher. She asked me if I wanted to come, and I said yeah, because she knew I was interested in chemistry and stuff like that.
And from what we see with these students from Pine House is, again, opening up the incredible opportunities that they literally have province-wide in hopefully piquing their interest and having them involved in, in the incredible work that's going on in Saskatchewan right now.
The students will tour the Saskatchewan Geological Survey and view core samples from deep within the earth, along with a visit to the Science Centre, and they're at tonight's Pats game as well.
Well, Mamma Mia, is it ever going to be a busy week for a group of aspiring actors in Drayton?
Ready? Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8.
To me, it's like a very good way to explore like different ways you can act, sing, dance, and you make new friends like every single day.
These young performers will spend the March break immersing themselves in the world of big musicals and the joy of bringing them to life on stage. The Drayton Entertainment Youth Academy is tackling 4 mega hits, and during that time, students will learn to read sheet music, vocal production, and choreography.
Celebrate, maybe dance.
Parents are coming home and they're saying these kids are more confident than ever. They're coming home, they're singing, they're dancing, they're ready to show their skills in a way they never have before. And it's beautiful to watch these kids blossom into these performers who have confidence and joy. It's a really beautiful thing.
Important to mention that performer David Connolly is the first amputee to have performed on Broadway and is the director-choreographer of Drayton Entertainment Productions.
Although Bearball and Jim Allen are sitting down, he's being inspired by the crows that surround them, like a stand-up.
Because I go way back, Cro-Magnon time. So that dates me, I know, but...
When he's not making crow puns about his age, Jim's making crow puns about 2 birds squawking.
Oh, micro and macro, the brothers. Mike and Mac, they argue a lot about economics, but...
Well, he can apparently comprehend crow now. Jim and Bearable could barely understand each other when they first met while he was visiting Europe. Back when she looked like this, and he looked like that, and she wondered about the letters VGH on this hospital smock he was wearing.
And I said, Vancouver's greatest hugger. Not an iota of response.
Her English wasn't good enough to get it, and his German wasn't good enough to explain.
So I had to demonstrate. And now, 38 years of wonderful marriage later, here we are.
While they both fell in love at first hug, their relationship deepened through transcontinental phone calls. And by the time they exchanged vows, they were the best of friends.
You married sometimes for the wrong reason, good looks or whatever. So
well, I'm married for that too.
Yeah, me too.
While Bearable and Jim try to visit the crows once a day, they credit the longevity of their love with making each other laugh throughout, every day.
It is very nice to listen to my husband's laugh.
And I like to hear her laugh as well.
Yeah.
It's even better if she's laughing with me and not at me. You know.
While a crow cawing can occasionally inspire comedy from Jim,
You know, they sometimes swear. Have you ever heard of a crocus?
laughing with his beloved Bearable always deepens their love.
I like listening to words of love because I have an ear in the middle of my heart. H-E-A-R-T.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Burnaby.